All right. All right. Let's get into chapter 12. Let's get you some homework because this is going to require some actual work. I know, actual work. Trading is work. I have met very few just like traders who are like, yep, I don't do anything. I just show up to the markets and make money. Actually, I've never met one. All right, so chapter 12, mapping your A game. This is huge, right? Being able to recognize, if you haven't watched the videos on the A, B, C game, you need to go do that, okay? You need to understand this concept. And let's just get into it. I know I've got definitions down below, but let's go. Okay, so chapter 12 brings your development full circle by helping you map the mental states behind your best trading. Excuse me. This isn't about guessing what works, it's about identifying the exact conditions that put you in peak performance mode. You can't rely on luck or momentum to reach your A game. You need a repeatable process to consistently get there. Okay. This is huge, guys. I had a I had a funded account I'd pull a couple payouts out of, and I ended up traveling, and I think I slept like, I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3.5 hours. I can't remember, but I just know it was not enough. It was not enough. I showed up. I was working on a project, and stress levels went high. And then what happened is I got into the market, and just because of the way I was feeling, like just super like kind of angry about what had happened, and hadn't slept well, I instantly stepped into the market and smoked that account. Like smoked it within like 10 minutes of trading, which was like not me normal, okay? And this was before I knew about this A, B, C game. So this was, oh goodness, like, man, has it been that long? Like a year, 2 years ago, something like that. It's been a long time, but I'll never forget this. And like I went into the market and I traded and I missed. I took a swing and missed. Took a swing and missed. Started sizing up. Started revenge trading, man, because I was ready, and I was mad. Okay, so number one, I didn't sleep well. Number two, I was under a lot of extra stress with the project. Number three, I was actually angry over a situation. That's three strikes. I should have never touched the market that day. I should have immediately recognized that I was not in my A game. Okay. So let's talk about this. Jared Tendler introduces the concept of A, B, and C game. Okay. Come up with cool names for him if you want. I thought about doing that, but I don't want to rename his stuff. Like his stuff works the way it is. So, your highest level of execution: calm, focused, confident, disciplined. That was not me that morning. Okay, I smoked that account. I was like, dang. And then I like went on a win streak after that, and I was like, dude, like I just gave away profits. Anyway, B game: slightly drop in focus, still in control but vulnerable to make mistakes. Okay, when I start slipping into B game, I start considering walking away from the charts. If I don't quickly regain control, I'm usually out of there. I'm like, I'm done, like, okay. Let's talk about C game. Emotional, reactive, and damaging behavior. Yeah, that's how I started that day. Okay, guys. So the story goes, I came to my trading desk with no sleep, not enough sleep, angry and stressed. Was I at my A game? Not even close. What happened? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Smoked that account. I was, oh man, I'm talking like I ended up going in like almost like 10 times what I would have normally. Like it was just not okay. All right. So this chapter is really about identifying the exact conditions that put you in peak performance mode. It is important that when we step to our trading desk that we are in the right mindset. So how do we get there? Cold plunge, exercise, protein shake, coffee, whatever does it for you, right? Whatever puts you into, maybe if I had, prayed a little bit of meditation, um, like took a few minutes and then wrote out like a, this is how I'm going to handle this situation today. Here's my project. Let me do an outline. And I could have transferred that stress over to an actual checklist, an actionable checklist that I could take after trading. I might have been okay that day, but I didn't. I didn't even recognize like what I was bringing to the table. And I just went in full bore, full emotion, ready to fight the market with everything I had, which was just stupid. Okay. This chapter teaches you how to build awareness around these zones, spot the transitions, and reverse engineer what puts you at your best. This is so important, and this is where this stuff's super personal. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Woo, I may edit that out, I may not. Probably not. You guys just get it raw. So, when you're building routines, this is where it's very personal to you, right? Like, I do well kind of waking up, kind of moving slow, maybe having a cup of coffee. I usually get my work day started, right? And I start mapping out what I'm going to do. I start making plans for the day. And, usually I'm up by, 7, 8 a.m. and working. I come to the charts pretty much right at 9:30. Like I'm usually watching open. Like I haven't even done TA. Look at the open, and then while I'm doing TA, I'm watching. Okay, does a couple things for me. Usually, if I come to the charts early and I start doing TA early, I want to start trading early. But my best results are after market open, so I don't even approach the markets until 9:30. Okay, and it gives me a couple hours to do my stuff on the side, and focus, and then I can transfer my focus over. A cup of coffee. Usually, I have like a coffee protein shake, and I feel good. Like, I may or may not have started walking at my desk because I have a treadmill desk, and sometimes I walk and trade at the same time. Sometimes I don't, but it's like I personally know what works well with me to get me into that mindset. Being highly stressed, looking at budget or thinking about money or looking at my P&L and things like that, that usually doesn't get me in the right mindset. It fuels my greed, it fuels my ambition. And that's what I work to control. Okay. So you need to learn to, reverse engineer what puts you at your best. Okay. And really make sure you're at your best. And if you're not at your best, don't trade. Who cares? Let it go. All right. I learned that the hard way many times. All right. So, because once you understand your A game, you can build routines and mindsets and habits that make it your default, right? We want our A game to be default. I don't want to, if I had insomnia, I don't think I could trade. I think I would blow accounts like constantly. I think it would be a nightmare, right? But it's not so bad because, I usually sleep well and I have my routines and I'm good. I'm able to do what I do. Okay. So let's just talk about this. All right. Some key takeaways. A game is not random. Okay. It is repeatable when you understand the conditions to create it. All right. Mapping your mental game for A, B, and C gives you clarity and control over your performance. Seriously, when I start to see I'm making small mistakes, and the small mistake could be for me, could be chasing my stop loss too close. I'm like, what's with that? And then I'll stop and I'll be like, wait a minute. Why is my stop loss so close to where the market is right now? It doesn't make sense with my plan. I'm structured. Okay, I'm nervous about giving profits back that aren't mine yet because this trade's not over. Okay, so there I am mentally becoming greedy. That's a small sign of greed for me, right? So seeing that I've slipped into my B game, I either quickly be done or I try to regain control and pull myself back, put my stop loss where it's supposed to go, at the structures, at this candle, at this low, whatever, right? Wherever it is structurally supposed to be. And then I pull myself back into my A game. If I can't, I don't like C game. Okay, C game is me being extremely emotional, sweaty hands, revenge trading, and yeah, it's never good. Okay. B game is the danger zone. All right. It's where early signs of decline show up. Learning to catch it early is key of staying out of C game. Dude, this is like game changing. If you guys aren't doing this in your mind while you're trading, I'm telling you, you're missing out. Like for real, I have saved myself from blowing accounts because of this. Just simply being like, okay, I'm about to slip into like, you know, Mr. Hyde, or Jekyll or whatever, revenge trading mode, and I'm about to revenge trade like a ninja, which either means I'll save the account or I will blow it completely. All right. And like I said, that's not who I want to be as a trader, so I don't allow it anymore. Okay. All right. Awareness is power. The more you understand your patterns, the faster you can self correct. And I'm telling you, self correction is such a powerful thing. And I've seen it with some of my very advanced friends. They do it. Some of them don't even kind of realize they're doing it, but they know that they're self-correcting. They never thought about it this way, right? So, by tracking thoughts, emotions, and decisions tied to each level, you can train your brain to stay in its peak state longer. All right. I made a couple of videos on scalping, and I've worked with a lot of people individually, about with scalping directly. And the one thing I hear a lot is I start out so good, and then I just end up giving it all back, and I get wrecked. And I'm like, scalping is like one of those things that, you're making so many decisions, right? Excuse me, usually very quickly. It's going to burn you out. It's going to make you tired. Your brain gets tired of making decisions like that. So I usually recommend people to time themselves and be like, okay, I'm a scalper. All right, how long can you scalp for? I ask people that and they're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, that's a problem because usually it means you're going to be profitable for an hour and 20 minutes on average. And then the next hour, you're going to give it all back, right? Because you fall into your C game without even realizing it, right? But if you know that you can make it an hour 20 very solid in your mind, then you know your limits. And once you know your limits, if you have to be a scalper, then you can just train yourself to go an hour 30, an hour 40 in full control, an hour 50 in full control until you're up to 2 hour or whatever your goals are. Maybe you do well enough that the hour 20 that you're successful, you can be done, right? And you don't have to be glued to the charts 14 hours a day. A lot of people are like, man, I got my charts up 24 hours a day and I'm constantly, even reading Market Wizards, man, those guys were obsessed. And I'm like, that's not the trader I want to be. I want to be able to sit down and within 2 hours take my trades and be absolutely done for the day, where I can just completely check out mentally. I love that. And that's what I want. All right. So action steps. Action steps. Create your A, B, and C game map. Okay, your A game: calm, confident, focused, patient, disciplined, clean entries, solid exits, right? And this is personal to you. So put your own stuff in here. Your B game: you're anxious, indecisive, impatient, hesitation sneaks up on you. You exit early, inconsistent outcomes. Okay? Your C game: angry, greedy, desperate, revenge trades. I wonder who wrote this. Over leveraged, large losses, tilt behavior. Never happened to me before. Now personalize it. Write out your own version of this table based on your experience. Okay. and here comes some key points, right? Spot B game triggers early. What small signs show up before I slip into bad habits? Am I feeling rushed, tensed, bored, frustrated? Okay. Are you checking your P&L over and over? Are you looking at how much you've made and you're starting to already think what you're going to do with that money? You're halfway through a trade and you're in the green, and so you're already like excited about a W. Yeah, some of these things aren't like devastating, but they could be signs that you're slipping because your trade's not over. You shouldn't be attached to your P&L yet. You shouldn't be counting it as a W because it could turn on you. And if you don't have a structural or an edge reason to move your stop loss, you shouldn't move it. And you should be okay with it coming back and giving you an L even after being in the green a little bit. Okay. I know that that's hard. That one's hard for me because I'm greedy. I'm ambitious. I don't like giving back W's. That's why I don't allow myself to call it a W until it's a W. Okay. Recognizing these early gives you time to reset. This is huge. Okay. Build a pre session routine. Create 3 to 5 steps to lock in your A game before you trade. Read affirmations, review your trade plan, visualize 1 or 2 ideal trade executions, set a goal. Today, I will protect my mental state, right? And you could pick on that one thing. Today, I will not FOMO. Today, I will not revenge trade, right? Or you could even do it like a positive. Today, I will be patient. And if the market goes without me, goes without me. Think of this like an athlete warming up before a game, okay? Journal post session by game state. At the end of your trading day, what percentage of the day was A, B, or C game? What caused the shift, up or down? What helped you stay in your A game? What threw you off? See, recognizing this kind of stuff, guys. Excuse me. The one thing I know, if my hands start to sweat, I'm done. Okay. And usually I'm still calm and cool and collected in my outer exterior, right? And I'm not really processing too much up here, like I'm focused, but when I feel that, I know that that's time for me to step away. That is like instant C game injection right there. Seriously. So as soon as I feel that, done. Okay. What I like to do is to catch things that cause me to get there beforehand, right? I don't wait for that. Like I said, if I start wanting to chase my stop loss, like super tight because I'm just so scared to take an L, or I'm so scared that I'm gonna, I'm like looking at my $800 in profit, and I'm like, oh, but if it comes back, I'll be at like $100 in profit, and there's no real structural reason to move it up, and man, I just want to protect some of that, and like I visualize like, oh man, oh, I was up at 800 and now I'm at 100 because of my stop loss placement. Like that kind of thought, I'm like, no, 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 no. That 800's not yours. So stop looking at it that way, right? Structurally sound positioning for your stop loss is at $100, guaranteed profit. Look at that. Today you'll get $100 in profit. Okay. And if it goes to your target, you're going to get 1,200. Okay. Whatever. But I try to intercept these thoughts ahead of time. Okay. But understanding yourself as a trader is going to be game changing. So over time, this data becomes your personal performance playbook, right? And this is where you can start to have your own playbook, and you know what works for you. You know what pulls you out of your A game. You know how to keep yourself in your A game longer. Like, let's just say you spend an hour in your A game, but you trade for 3 hours, and the last 2 hours you're keeping yourself at B game, struggling to stay out of C game. Well, knowing that is huge, right? Because you can start to work at that hour point, right? When as soon as from at, let's say 10:30, right? Because 9:30 open, 10:30, you're like, man, I know I'm going to start declining, so let me stay extra focused. And then all of a sudden, your average goes up to an hour and a half before you start slipping, and a little bit further, right? So you having this playbook is going to be game changing. Okay. So encouragement. Your best trading isn't a fluke, it's a skill. Okay. Your A game is already inside of you. It just needs to be understood, respected, and protected. All right. This is where you need to be, in a sense, greedy in protecting your A game, not greedy for money. All right. Most traders obsess over setups, but the elite obsesses over staying in their optimal state. This is so true. This is so true. I've literally watched guys who are legit, who are super profitable, be like, okay, I'm done. It's like, why? You're doing so good. And they're like, I'm just not feeling it anymore. I'm like, wait, what? Basically, through, conversation later, it was that they were slipping, right? And some of them know about the ABC game, and some of them have never read this book, but they understand that their mindset and their optimal state is important. So as soon as they know they're not operating optimal, they're like, I'm done. I'm not going to give back the profits I've made today. I'm not going to risk my capital because I can feel myself slipping. All right. Every time you map your day, every time you recover from a B game slip, every time you prepare like a pro, you're not just improving your edge, you are building a mental foundation that top tier consistency requires. Okay. Keep going. You're not just learning trading, you're mastering the trader behind the trades. All right. That's huge. I just want to encourage you guys. All right. I know I've shared a few times my emotional, mental trading career has been absolutely out of control and insane and like a roller coaster. Okay. Which you wouldn't guess if you knew me personally. That's not what you would think. Right? Because I'm usually very calm, cool, collected, logical, but when it came to trading, the struggle was real. And I'm not just making that up. I'm not just trying to be like, oh, look at me. I used to struggle and I still struggle. Okay. But I have learned to be profitable and consistently profitable. And it is because of this kind of thing. Like, yes, I found an edge. And yes, I learned enough ICT concepts. I probably use 5 or 10% of the concepts that are out there for ICT. So very simplistic version an approach because I believe complexity just makes things so much harder. If you have 10 indicators on your chart, I feel for you. I don't know how you process that much data. I keep things simple, but I have learned that mastering the trader behind the trades is what has made the difference for me. And I want to encourage you that if I can do it, I'm telling you, anybody can do it. So, free Discord down below if you want to just come and have some conversation. It'd be fun. Drop a like, subscribe, send this to someone you think that'll help them. A lot of traders out there need to hear this. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.